Hey, what's up? So I just want to talk about something very quick. In my life, I'm straight, but some of my best friends have either been bisexual, gay, or wanted to be a woman, and their parents decide who was a doctor, decided just let's give them liquid methadone, or sorry, morphine and blah blah blah. That'll shut them up, right? The stories I have been told from people who I consider the closest people in my life, who would never do anything wrong, is unreal. So now to think that they're what they care about. Well, one's from Norway, one's from Bay Roberts, and like to think that me in my life, that Canada or where I am in St. John's, Newfoundland, decided to put a couple of vibrating sensors in just underneath the skin, just to cause me to speak out loud more. I have no problem doing that. But see, I'm homeless. I'm living in a transitional center right now, and in order to come here, when I came here, I'm very aware of things, okay? And awareness can come in many categories. Sometimes people often put it into either psychosis or some kind of pattern awareness. But me, I'm just, if a place has security and it's a transitional center and it's for mental health as well, then technically every room should have a sensor to automatically determine the state of emotional blah 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 in, like, say here. See that thing up there? The light blinks red every time I breathe in and out. See that piece of paper over there? I put that piece of paper there because every now and then the air comes out of it and I want to be able to see it because it makes my bed feel a little bit cold. But anyways, over the past year or so, since these little vibrating things happened, people online be like, oh, raise your frequency, raise your vibration. So I tied anxiety into that. I was with somebody last year. I left, went because there was some weird thing on, either something to do with fire or something, some weird shit. Anyway, so I took that story, kept it in, and then someone someone made a meal that wasn't that good, and it really really affected me. And by not good, it changed my entire thing. That was when these sensors got put in. So I don't know whether to call it V2K, MK Ultra, or like some other new Canadian thing. I'm not sure. Either way, I don't really care. It doesn't matter because I know behind this is either a human being, an AI, or me. So I have tubes in my ears as well, so which means behind my ear I have a cochlear implant. I think I wasn't really told much about it, so I'm pretty much deaf, but I was never told, hey, you're deaf, so you have to act like you're deaf your entire life. So if you meet somebody, you got to know their name and blah 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 blah. I've never gotten that far. I know too many people, and the turnover rate in my friendship cases is so high because people just get use people. They either give a loan of $20 with you, and they never show up again. And I'd rather give someone $20 and never pay me back, rather than do whatever. Now I'm still friends with everybody, but at least that way they won't ask me for anything that I have to give out of my own free will. So and not everybody can pay back, and that's just the way life is, and I don't mind that, But like over the past year, especially in this room, I went through some intense self training. I had to figure out whether these sensors and shit are connected to a human or me, or like I said, AI in the middle. Anyways, so every bit of content that I have generated using artificial intelligence over the past couple of years technically is my property. Now, I've done some intense research on every topic there is, except for personal communication and like things that could get you in trouble. Okay, like or even like interpersonal drama, like telling stories about people and like how to deal with things and what's it called? Psychological engineering kind of thing. Now, talking to an AI about it, about your own, is one thing, but like, don't do it to other people. Don't use AI to try to figure out other people. And most importantly, what's already been done in the United States, XAI, I assume, and Elon Musk granted the president every contingency ability and everything. In order for him to do the tariffs and actually act that confident, they're using AI. Okay, by the book, by the second, every single person that they think could possibly even affect even one person's vote, they will track. And there's another girl online, Sabrina Wallace. She talks about this as a body area network. She's a computer engineer, I believe. And she said, like, you can singe your private parts remotely. And, oh yeah, they can. I'm a saucy bastard. Okay, I shouldn't say that word. I'm saucy. I'm rude, but I love people. I hate machines, but we have a love-hate relationship. Now, artificial intelligence is a reflection of the user. So if I know that that screen can reflect my image, as it's just light from the window, I can see myself. If I'm typing to myself and a reply comes back from what I say, I consider that a response meant for me personally. So other people who consider, oh, that's AI, that's illegal, or that's blah blah blah. I don't know what to say about that kind of stuff. I really don't. I've never encountered a situation where I've had to explain that. Now, over the past year, there's been nights where I've been on the bed, shaking, having on the floor with a bunch of comforters, those red ones over there, tied up because my body's going hours and hours and hours at a time. Somehow, over the past week, they finally, whoever the user is, not me, whoever the active CSIS or whatever fucking RNC or whatever policing department is, has finally believed me when I say only in my mind, don't vibe me, and just watch me flourish. And they haven't really been, except for when I go out in the lunchroom, when I'm actually happy to eat. Because technically they're looking for intent. Intent has nothing to do with vocabulary. Nothing to do with vocabulary. At all. I'm going to close my eyes now and think something really horrible. Now, if you record this video, you play this video back and you notice any changes in the environment, oh, I noticed some changes. But in me, it's only because I held my breath and thought, it's the only way that's possible. And if it starts going zzz, as if you have some kind of CNS implant sensors. And by CNS, strategically placed in your body over a couple different spots. Right here, you can see a little V. Right there on my wrist, right there, a little tiny V. That vibrates sometimes. So I'm thinking there's an electrical appliance somewhere. Now, you can also do it in hotel rooms, have soundproofing. And what it is basically is two thick sheets of basically tin foil, aluminum foil, and in between there's like a goo, it's not even a goo, it's like a sealant kind of thing. Anyway, so you can step on it and blah blah blah, but it's electrically conductive. So if you're in a room and there's a lot of high current being used, or let's just say on the floor, and you're grounded off, then technically that can also be used and vice versa in many different ways. Now, the only thing that I haven't figured out yet is the power source. If the power source for the vibe shit is me, then technically it's tied into my metabolism. If it's tied to my metabolism, that means that when I'm hungry, it's looking for power. If I'm not eating well, then I can't power it. So if it's powered by something else, it has to be either locally or remote. If it's remote, that means it has to be electromagnetic pulses. Okay? If it's locally, that means it has a battery. So how the fuck is there a battery, a small battery, that's been lasting over a year of every day? Trust me, every day I've been driving this thing nuts since it happened to me. Like literally, I've been after saying so many things that are just so out of this world in this room that no one would ever believe that I was saying. But technically, I'm making a case, and I'm gonna have like billions of dollars, or at least millions of dollars, in this. So technically, the RNC and the RCMP are in this little battle in Newfoundland, where their RNC's in St. John's, and the RCMP's all the rest of Canada, and they're trying to do this little competition thingy, and so I got a feeling I want to tie this into that. Now, there's also a bunch of other things on the go. I can do anything. Literally, I can do anything. Anything with AI, anything with computers, anything with electronics, anything I put my mind to, and I have reason to, which ties back into the word intent. Now, if I say in my head, I'm going to drink that bottle of water, and I don't, is that intent? Technically, in my mind, the only intent was to say a sentence that described intent that wasn't actually intent. So, how can something say or ding you negatively use adversarial networks as an AI in the very bad wrong, Very bad way. Technically, it's torture, and it's able to be charged under the international law and I'm not sure NATO or basically United Nations. So, anyways, so if intent is only words, then how are these devices? How are they trained? You know, definitely like DARPA, CIA, blah blah blah. Some other psychoanalysts or these excuses that people make conspiracy theories for. I can't stand this stuff. I really do. I live my life on my own 2 feet. I use a computer, and now my computer's hacked, and I'm letting them because like what better way to know your enemy than let him in your all your shit. So technically my enemy is also either my place I'm living or the rest of the world. So now if I'm thinking that way, is that intent? Or is that just passionately linking words that could describe a methodology considered a war? Now, by changing the Department of Defense to the Department of War and using AI to run it, that means every single prompt it knows it's war. I don't like that. Right now, I'm putting this video on TikTok in a minute. Actually, no, I'm not, because it's 11 minutes. No one's going to watch it anyways. But I'm recording it. I'm going to save it on my phone, 11:11. And anyone that's listening to me nearby in my room at 106 Airport Road, St. John's, Newfoundland, it's called Horizons End Homelessness. Shout out. But the point being is that intent is a wonderful thing. Cops aren't that wonderful. Detectives aren't that smart. Psychiatrists aren't that knowledgeable. They get paid to put people in little boxes and to check mark them off and then to push them aside and let litigation or the crown, blah, blah, blah. So in my case, if the crown is responsible in paying everybody in order to do this to me, the crown can't be held responsible in Canada. So who do I hold responsible? If I'm a law-abiding citizen and I love my country, which I do, I love where I live, which I do, technically the only problem I have is with Russia and the United States. Now, Russia's all the way over there. Let them do their thing. They're not going to fuck around with us or the United States. And then Trump's like, hey, let's go test some nuclear missiles. I posted a video that said, Trump, if you do that, I'm going to do everything I can to hack him and disable him. Am I? Probably not. But just the thought of putting that on TikTok, which I already did, it got 5 likes since yesterday. I'm hoping to send a message because I think that I got profiled originally because I said that Donald Trump was in the closet. So last year I was told by the person that I wanted to marry's sister that I was being profiled, and that's what it was. So that's fine. If I was being profiled, then that's the origin of when I said Donald Trump was in the closet. And I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. So if I was being profiled, I went through this whole year wondering what it would be like to be in a closet, kind of thing. It's just not for me. It's not. So knowing that the people behind the censor thinks that I am, because I train them that way, I had to test if they're human or AI. 100% human. Now, the only way you can do that is if you don't think that. How I'm able to do that, I have no idea. I guess, psychopathy or AI over the course of the past couple of years helped me to understand. I'm usually a nonverbal person. I don't talk much. But over the past year, I've been put in so many situations, they're just unreal. Like here where I am, they have some kind of security protocol when people are talking in the room and then they go outside, lights dim, people start messing around and start showing up trying to distract you from your hallway movement. So many things that are so irresponsible, childish, immature, and absolutely outrageous. Literally outrageous. People knocking on the door saying, oh, no, like, unless you're loaded, I'll excuse you if you're loaded. Like, as in, like, drinking. I don't even drink. I smoke a little bit of cannabis. I haven't had any in a couple of days. I love sweet shit. Sweet stuff. I don't drink any water. And I think I'm an awesome person. And the only people who think that are people who don't know me. The people here don't know me. So there's some kind of community setting here where people categorize people in the groups, and depending on what group you're in, whether you're a drug addict, paranoid, pattern matching, deaf, blind, they will purposely knock on your doors and schedule things around because this is a phased development in a transitional setting, which the government is working in a gray area with mental health and COVID rules and all this other kind of stuff, which is cool. But tell the tenants, tell them what you're doing. Tell them that what sensors are in each room, and how they work, so that if someone experiences something, they understand it, not to cause it like it did to me. Because my living here and how this works is what caused it to me. When I'm lying down in the bed and I'm looking up at that light up there, and I'm realizing it's there's nothing wrong with my lungs at all, and it keeps tracking your breathing. It's also used for pest control, etc., etc. So I guess there must be some kind of click or something, and maybe say if a mouse comes scurrying through the ceiling, like, it'll detect light or something, and then run away. So me, I'm a nonverbal person. Maybe I have some kind of senses or some kind of like sixth sense, or just I'm hypersensitive because I'm also autistic. I'm also autistic and deaf and have extreme myopia. I sleep with my contacts in. Without my contacts, my focal point is like right here. The Google Home over there, I can't even see the clock on it unless I'm like this far away from the screen. Unreal. So anyways, I never got glasses until I was 16 years old. So my whole entire life, I've been myopic. And everything I look at, it's been super up close. Anyway, so 6 years ago now, I met somebody. It completely changed my life. I was living with somebody who had a kid, and my mother has my kids. Complex family dynamics, let's just call it that. So anyways, I ended up leaving the person I was with for another girl who was, to me, is like a goddess, okay? Anyways, when these sensors got put in, something happened at the house or something, and no one knows anything about the relationship that we had. Like, in my head, I know everything that happened. I had pictures, videos, everything. Like our whole entire relationship. So somehow, some story got misconstrued, and it's like nobody knows it. It's like I'm living in an alternate universe. Now, I have the math to explain that easily. So is that what this is? It's like people trying to say, hey, go back into the math that you were doing, and let her go back to doing, drugs and stuff instead of Karen. So I could do that, and I have done it. So in my head earlier today, I said, I don't even know who that person's name is anymore. The suit didn't even give a shit. The sensors didn't vibrate this time. Didn't care. So if this thing was trained on me, if it was me, it would be very upset saying that. If it was someone else, if it was AI with memory, it would know. So that's how I know it's human. It's human on the other end, listening, waiting, getting paid to listen to every fucking word I think, breathe, and do. Have a great day.